All right, guys, welcome back to the channel for another Real Talk episode. Today, we're going to be talking about how should you prioritize your training, and by you, I mean me. This is something I've been tackling for years and questioning whether I should be focusing more on pistols, mastering pistol first before moving on to shooting carbines better and better, or long-range shooting, which is what I really enjoy, and kind of the balance between all three and kind of how I want to move forward with my training and how you guys do it as well. So before we get into the topic though, guys, we do have to take a moment to thank the biggest sponsor of the channel, which is, as you know, Brownells. Guys, without Brownells, none of this would be possible. So if you want to support the channel, head over to rangedaybro.com, check out our merch, check out our discounts page. RDB10 will save you know what over at you know where, actually at a bunch of places, but also over at Brownells. So if you guys want to support the channel, there's a lot of ways for you to do so. Check the pinned comment and the link in the description, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for doing so. Now, with that being said, getting that out of the way, let's talk about this question that I've been tackling in my mind for quite some time, and that is, should I get really good with my pistol? Should I try to get to a master level or grandmaster level with my pistol, if that's even possible for me as a shooter, before I move on to training with rifles, carbines, whether it be 0 to 25, 0 to 50, 0 to 600 yards with the AR-15, and then stretching it out even further with AR-10s? That is the question I've been kind of pondering and tackling and working over in my mind, because right now what I'm doing, as I think a lot of people probably are, is spreading myself very thin across all these different disciplines, which if you just did one and tried to master one could take up all of your free time and range time. That's a guarantee, because there's certain people, and I don't want to call it Ben Steger. I have no idea if Ben Steger is a certified pipe hitter at long range shooting. It wouldn't surprise me because he's really good at shooting pistols, but the dude has dedicated his life's work to shooting pistols, handguns really, really fast. I'm sure he shoots rifles fast as well. But again, that's just a guy I look to, or use Rob Epifania for another example, right? These guys are master level pistol shooters, and they spend a lot of their training time, I would argue, I mean, they could probably tell you better. I don't know what percentage it is of their training time shooting pistols, working on their grip, working on their vision, working on all the things that they work on, that they literally write books and have courses on. And that one discipline in of itself is enough to preoccupy all of their time, and that's what allowed them to get to the level of shooting that they're at with a handgun. Now, you can make the very reasonable argument that as long as the government's still standing, there's no active wars on U.S. soil, the 2A, the Minuteman equation hasn't come to fruition yet, then this is like 99.9% of the time going to be what you're going to be defending yourself with. That's anything besides a home defense scenario. And even for most people, a home defense scenario is going to be with a handgun. Although I think an AR-15 is way better for home defense, but I digress. That's a topic for a different video. But this is going to be, again, when the government's still standing, when there is law and order, there's police and there's EMS and there's all that stuff. When we live in the United States of America and the government is still intact, this is going to be, again, most likely the thing you're going to use in a defensive scenario. So as far as like logic goes, and just like, hey, since I'm most likely to use this thing in a defensive scenario, maybe I should dedicate whatever that percentage is, right? 99% of the chance that you use this, especially if you carry a pistol everywhere you go every single day, there's a very high likelihood of you using this over an AR-15 that you don't have on you. So why wouldn't you dedicate most of or all your time to training this one thing? And my response to that is, yes, although it is most likely to be the most likely thing for you to use in a gunfight, it's also very important to remember what the Second Amendment is about. And in the Second Amendment, it talks about, standing against tyranny, foreign or domestic. And as we all know, besides concealability, this falls short in almost every single aspect for a gunfight. As far as accuracy, controllability, capacity, the capacity to incapacitate something that you don't want to shoot you back or harm you, it kind of fails in every single category compared to an AR-15 with a 5.56 caliber. So if you are talking about, fighting tyranny, foreign or domestic, or any kind of foreign invasion or without rule of law, shit at the fan, whatever you want to imagine, whatever your dream LARP is, then this is most likely going to go away. Not to say it's going to go away forever, right? A lot of guys like to argue, well, if you're carrying around a long gun, you just got a target on your back, dog. It's like, okay, bro, but if you're in any scenario which you might go into a sustained firefight, show me one guy who's going to pick up a handgun over a rifle, right? I guess the idea is avoid the fight altogether, but sometimes it's just not an option. And in my dream LARP, a rifle is much better for the scenarios I'm going to be going into, which is, offensive or straight defensive missions, holding posts, whatever it is, right? regardless of the LARP situation, right? It's just a fact that rifles are better. So as far as the Second Amendment purpose goes, I think it's very important to be adequately trained and be good enough with a rifle from 0 to say 2, 3, 4, 500 yards even. And so that is a pretty good argument to say, okay, well then you should spend 100% of your training time shooting a handgun, which is most likely to be used in a defensive scenario. And part of that time, maybe let's say 30% or 40% of that time, dedicated to rifle, which is most likely to be used in a Second Amendment scenario or shit hit the fan or without rule of law, whatever it is. So that's a good argument for both of those cases right there. Now, this is where my my autism kicks in, and I just start thinking about, but I like long range shooting a lot. I like pulling the trigger and then waiting a couple seconds and hearing the ping come back. That really tickles my autism, and I love that. So I spend a lot of time shooting long range, and I really, really enjoy it. Now, am I really good at any of the three in comparison to the people at the top of the level in all three respective disciplines? The answer is no. I'm very mediocre to middle to low end as far as like the best PRS shooters in the world, the best gas gun shooters in the world, the best carbine shooters in the world, the best 2-gun guys, and the best pistol shooters. I'm like, in all categories, I'm very low ranked. And I think most people, if you're being honest with yourselves, you probably are as well, unless you're ranking in the top, 50 or 100 in the country for any one category in competition shooting. And that's really the only way to measure these skills, right? Against your peers, against time on a set course that you haven't run 100,000 times. So that's kind of my metric for measuring my success, right? And it doesn't really matter. I mean, people will tell you it matters what competition you're shooting in. It just matters that you're shooting in competitions, in my opinion. But regardless of that, that's all to say, if I had taken the time, the 33% of time that I spend long range shooting and allocated that to pistol shooting and carbine shooting, or even more so, double that and say, I'm going to take that 66% of time from carbine shooting and long range shooting and dedicate it to pistol shooting, I would see my performance on the pistol dramatically improve. Now, it's not to say it would happen overnight. It would definitely take time. I would still hit the same issues that I would run into now, like hitting plateaus and having issues that are hard to work through and bad habits I'd have to break. But it would just be, it's just simple math, right? If you spend a lot more time doing the thing, you're going to get a lot better at it a lot faster than you would otherwise if you're spreading your time across these different disciplines. And just for clarity's sake, I'm talking about really pistol shooting, carbine shooting, like 0 to 200 or 300 yards, and then like DMR type work, which I really enjoy. Kind of PRS work, but with a gas gun is kind of the way I look at it, like 0 to 700, 800 yards is the way I'm categorizing these. And I don't know what the answer is, because right now, for the longest time since I've started the channel, since I started at the beginning, I've always been spreading my time across all three of these different skill sets. Now, that's not to say that the principles of marksmanship aren't the exact same across pistol versus rifle, carbine versus DMR. A trigger press is a trigger press. Not reacting, not flinching to the trigger press is the same instinct that you have to overcome on a pistol as it is on a rifle. There's just certain things that are built in differently, right? There's a lot of things that are the same across all the disciplines, but there's a lot of things that are different as well, right? So it's not to say that like one is better than the other. I don't know what the answer is. That's what I'm here to ask you guys today. That's what I want to work through with you guys in the comments. Let me know what you think I should do. Should I just give up on all of the carbine and the DMR stuff and just get as good as I can get for, let's say, 3 to 6 months? Give me a time frame, right? Like, should I take 6 months and just focus on the pistol and get as good as I can with the pistol, and then after that focus on just carbine, and then after that focus on just DMR? Or should I kind of keep going on the path that I'm going down, because I am still seeing improvement, right? I'm also training with more purpose, so that 33% I'm spending doing DMR, all those chunks are being used more efficiently by me because I'm learning how to train better. I'm learning how to be more efficient with my time, and I'm not just doing what I think will look good on camera. I'm actually training with my rounds, because nobody buys ammo for the channel. I support myself in that sense, and you guys support me through using my links over on the discounts page, so thank you to you guys. But I only have so many rounds allocated to these reviews, and I want to get better as a shooter. So I have gotten better. I have been more efficient with my time, but I'm definitely seeing slower improvements in each area than I would if I were to just dive right into all pistol. Because there, for like a month there, when I started the accelerated course with Rob, actually, there's a link on the discounts page for Rob's accelerator course, which is pretty much like an online course to teach you how to suck less with a pistol. And when I started that course, I dove deep into the pistol, dry firing every single day for 10 to 15 minutes. And I saw a massive improvement in my draw and bringing the optic up in my grip and just not having to fish for the dot anymore. I mean, like it used to be I'd fish for the dot, let's say 4 out of 10 draws from the holster. Now it's like 0.5 or 1 if I'm really rusty. If I haven't done dry fire in a minute, then it might be 1 or 2, or like 1 in the first draw or 2. And I saw a massive improvement when I really focused on that one thing and shot and just trained handgun the entire time. But I always fall back to missing long range shooting, and that's kind of like my thing. Like I really love that. I'm not the greatest at it. I'm very, again, compared to the best people in the world, I'm very okay, but I just love it. So I think there's a balance, and I guess to answer what I think the answer, to give you guys my best option moving forward, what I think I should really do is continue to focus on utilizing my time wisely and being efficient when I'm training all three. And of course I could use the channel as an excuse because I always get new rifles in, new pistols in. I'm getting pulled in a lot of different directions. A lot of it being my own fault because I'm requesting items because I'm interested in the new AR-10, the new handgun, the new 6 arc, 12-inch 6 arc barrel from Ballistic Advantage. I'm interested in all these things. I want to test them out. I want to see how they work and bring it to you guys. But what do I do as a shooter, not as a reviewer, not as Range Day Bro, but as the man who needs to protect my family, the man whose duty it is to be proficient with these tools? What do I need to do? And I think that I need to just continue being as efficient as I can be with my time in each trigger press, but also kind of taking sections of time, like a 3-month period, and rotating through every 3 months, kind of rotating through and focusing on a different discipline based off of where I'm excelling and where I need some work, I guess. Continuing to test those skills amongst my peers in different 2-gun matches and different PRS matches, different pistol matches. I think that's super important, so I'm going to continue doing that. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think I should do? What do you guys do? Have you ever thought about it in this way? And, what's the best way? What's the best method? And is it the same for everybody? I don't think that's true. I think it's probably different for everybody depending on your skill level, where you're at, what you have access to. A lot of people don't have access to shooting past 100 or 200 yards. In fact, I was really surprised by recent comments on one of my IG posts, which, by the way, if you guys don't already, please follow me over on Instagram. I do post a lot of things daily on my story over there. But a lot of people were just asking me, where can you shoot 100 yards indoors? Like, that was like a big question to people. I'm like, dude, they're everywhere in Texas. Like, I think I've been to one range in Texas where they didn't have a 100-yard indoor range. And I don't shoot indoor hardly ever anymore. It's just the middle of summer. And when I'm going to shoot groups, I've been leaning the last like 3 times I've grouped, I've gone indoors because it's just a little bit cooler. There's less factors like the target stand blowing in the wind, and I can kind of hone in and focus on getting good groups. But a lot of people don't have access to shooting long range like we do out here in Texas. So if you guys are in the Central Texas area, check out RPR. No affiliation besides I love those folks over there. They're super cool. And it's a really awesome range that you can shoot out to, a mile. And, but, if you don't have access to that, then I could see why if you've never done it, I could see why it may not be appealing to you. But how realistic is it to ever be, as a civilian role, Second Amendment purpose, whatever you want to call it, right? Shooting a DMR shot at 700 yards. I think it's a lot less realistic than shooting a shot at, say 150, 200 yards or even 50 yards. Look at modern conflicts. GWAT's kind of not modern anymore, but there's a lot of takeaways from the GWAT era we can study. You look to Ukraine and Russia right now, you see a lot of trench warfare, you see a lot of drone warfare. Not even bringing up shotguns, guys. I'm not a shotgun guy, which I know there's going to be some guy in the comments like, bruh, you better do your skeet shooting. Otherwise the drones, FPV drones is going to fly right into your little cubby and blow you up in the face. Well, dude, it's been a good run if that's the case. So with that being said, I love you guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for all the support over the years, guys. It means a lot to me. If you do want to support the channel, rangedaybro.com. We have our Tactical Bucky's operator shirts. Haven't gotten the cease and desist letter yet, so pick one up while you can. Any other merch discounts are over there, as well as our loadouts page. Sign up for our email list. Follow me on Twitter, Rumble, X, those are the same thing. Instagram, I'm really active on Instagram, as lame as they are. Check it out over there. And you guys can message me, DM me over there if you have questions as well on Instagram. That's about it though. Christ is King. Drink a lot of water. Love you guys. Take care.